Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, today we are going to go for, Wonderlands and Dream Spaces. And I decided to make a distinction between them. Just hold on for just a minute. I've decided to distinguish between Wonderlands and Dream Spaces since now Wonderlands are basically realities born of the collective thoughts, particularly the various subjects, ideals, and beliefs throughout human history. And dream spaces are more of a personal thing which can draw in others, and some people can summon them. And they're not always in control of themselves though. Sometimes there is emotional trauma as well as, madness that, can cause it. But yeah, some people can, summon them through controlled means, such as I can. Tulpas and evils and their descendants are still the dominant forms of life in, both Wonderlands and Dream Spaces. That way we can have more personalized, localized worlds, as well as worlds that are kind of similar to... Have you guys ever played Folklore on the PS3? You guys ever play that? You should. Of course, the only bad part is it requires a 6-axis controller, so... Anyway. Yeah, Folklore kind of reminds me of, Lost Kingdoms. Have you guys ever played that in the GameCube? Oh, well. Anyway. I'm getting off subject. Now, while dream spaces are more similar to, psychic, inner or dream worlds that are similar to Amori's headspace or, the Psychonaut psychic worlds. You guys ever play either of those games? I mean, of course you've played Amori. Everybody and their mom has played Amori. One can travel through the various Wonderlands via the world canvases, which are shadows of the master copy, which allows travel and connection between each and every one of them. There's also smaller personalized portraits that can open portals into the dream spaces of people, which one can travel to and from using, which can be used for good, but can also be used for evil. Yeah. Sort of like what Father Dull did back in, the Tulpa War. Yeah, that's a story for another day. The space between dreams and reality is a bridge known as the Bifrost, from which paths between both Wonderlands and dream spaces can be made, so they can connect to each other. It's also possible that the portraits can take on various forms, often expressed through artistic mediums. So it's not Super Mario 64 paintings and the style of those. Those are a common variant of them, yeah. Yeah, which is kind of similar to, have you guys ever played Portrait Rin, the Castlevania game? You really should, the DS collection for Castlevania is up. You should definitely get that, by the way. I will say it's a bit pricey, though. But definitely worth it. Anyway, such various forms, have you guys ever played Ukulele? Yeah, the worlds take on the form of books in there, yeah. Also, it kind of reminds me of Banjo-Kazooie, yeah. Yeah, because in Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, they took on the form of, puzzles, didn't they? That's a pretty good idea to, go explore a little bit further. I should really consider something like that, as well as, what happens when, dream spaces get summoned through things like madness or emotional distress. All wonderful things to add into the lore. Anyway. I'll see you guys later. Remember to fly like bat and shine like the moon, for we your stuffed dreams are made of. And and you guys. Yes, I, Endemati, am a descendant of thought forms. Okay? Yeah, although technically speaking, I'm also part human, but Yeah, so technically speaking, Endemati's kind of half Tulpa. Anyway, and don't forget to like and subscribe. By liking and subscribing, you're legally giving me your name. By the way, you should give me your name. I'm a fairy. You can trust me with it. Definitely not trying to steal it or anything. Definitely not. After all, once I have your name, you can be mine. Mine. Check that bottom line. Forever and ever and ever. Also, I have heard, some people, say on, the Tulpa subreddit that, I have heard, actually, I'm not sure where I heard it. I have heard somebody, say in the Tulpa videos that, authors make the best Tulpamancers, yeah. Because they basically have to, consciously, make things. Especially characters, yeah. Yeah, in fact, that's kind of part of the lore, when it comes to fairies anyway. They're kind of spawned from fiction. Sort of like how trolls, in that one. In one of my stories, are kind of, spawned from satire. Yeah, I'll go into that story, a little bit. Maybe sometime this week, maybe. Or maybe next week, I don't know. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.